Sometimes when you're trying to put windows in, you need a custom size and shape just like you see here. You won't always find that in a family, or you'll spend too much time looking for a family. So in this video, I want to show you how to make a window just like this. It's really easy using the curtain wall tool, and I can give it any shape that I want. Because I already have windows on this side, we'll go around to the back and I'll just add them right here. We'll pretend I'm going to put some glass up above in some kind of a custom shape. Okay, the first thing to do, let's open up a floor plan. And mine are going to go over here on this side of the house. I'm going to go architecture wall. And this is funny because we're building a window, but we're actually going to use the wall command to do it. And that's because we're going to scroll all the way down and find curtain wall. And curtain wall is technically, it's a type of a wall. It's just easily customizable, which is why we want to use it. Now something that you won't have to do that I want to show you is that under edit type, there's a checkbox for automatically embed. And by default, that's already selected. But what that means is we can create this wall inside of another wall and it'll create its own cutout. Let me demonstrate. If I come down here and I'm just going to draw a glass wall straight across, and you can see it's right inside of my stud framed wall. What it did is it cut out the stud and it replaced it with glass. If we go into 3D, we can see that. All we have here is a great big slab of glass. If automatically embed wasn't selected, you wouldn't see it this way. You'd just have two overlapping walls. Okay, now that I've got this, let's move it up into position. Selecting it can sometimes be tricky because you've got to get the outline where you see the dashed lines just like this. If you struggle to do that, try hitting tab. You saw it actually show up there. Well, I've just got too many things in this project, but if you hit tab, you should be able to select it. And now I can either move the whole thing up, or I can use these grips, or I can come over here and control it just like I would any other wall. So this one has a top constraint for me of top of wall. I can just add 5 feet there and it'll move up 5. And then over here I can say that I want this to be like 9 feet above the first floor. Maybe let's even go with 10. Okay, so you want to get it roughly in the correct position before you start doing the modifications to the shape. Now, one of the problems that I'm going to encounter is that in first floor that's now gone because the view range isn't going to allow me to see that. If I go to my top of wall, I guess I don't really have one, my roof, if I go to my roof, then maybe I'll see it. Yeah, that's all set up for a roof, so I'm just not going to be able to see mine. I'll pause and set up a view. Okay, all I had to do is I went View, Plan Views, Floor Plan. I had to deselect here so I could see top of wall. I created a view that appeared like this initially. I don't really want the roof on there, so I'll just hide that. And now I can see that window, and this is nice because maybe I would like to change the size of it. Maybe I want it to be smaller. And the best thing you can do is have two views open at once. My screen is so small that I don't know if it's advisable. But if you have a great big screen, this is really nice because then I can kind of position that here and I can see the effect. And then I could go here and I could even raise it up. And this should adjust it over here on the left by using those grips. Okay, when I have the shape that I want, or the position, sorry, that I want, I'm ready to just edit it like you would any other wall. I can edit the profile. And this is probably best done in an elevation view if you can find the right elevation. But it doesn't hurt to try it in a 3D view just as long as you click on the view cube so you know you're looking at it straight on. Okay, and let's just say that I wanted this to come to a point right in the middle. So you can see I'm a little out of alignment with my ridge there. Okay, and I don't want to shift the pink lines over. Instead, I'm going to accept this, and then while this window is selected, I'm using my arrow keys to shift it and try to get the alignment. You could move the pink lines, but it will do something kind of weird. You'll see that the window is still actually over here in a sense, even though the glass is over here. So I recommend not doing it that way. The way I just did it now is better. Okay, so now I've got an irregularly shaped window, and It's only glass. I don't have any of the frame around here just yet. But not only do I have the shape that I want, I can still go in and make any changes to the size just by clicking and dragging. So that's so convenient. Okay, what I need to do now is get the frame in there. And the frame, the way we're going to insert this is going to be more like what you would expect to see on a storefront, not a true window frame like this. So they are going to look a little bit different, and I'll show you what I mean. Go to Architecture, and then go to Mullion, and we're just going to click around, place these mullions, and the difference between this and another window type is that it's set back inside the wall. So my frame here doesn't go beyond the outside edge of the siding, and there's no trim. Let me just let me change my materials to a lighter color so that you can see what I mean here. Okay, in light color you can see all the lines that make up that window, and we're just not going to get anything like that here. In fact, you won't even get yours to look quite like mine when you initially do this, because that's going to be a default metal material. So go ahead and select one of those mullions, and we want to edit the type, and then you can apply any material you want, so you can make it actually look like wood. You can also change the size of it. Width on side 1, width on side 2. It's been too long since I've done this to know just exactly which is which here. But let's just try something. If I change the width on side 3, or sorry, on side 1, 2, 3, there's what we get. 1.25 looked better, didn't it? If I change the other one to 3, there you go. Evidently, they both do the same thing. So make sure that you get the width that you're looking for. And then I think that you want to pay attention also to the name here if you want to change the depth of that. I could change the depth, and I might even be able to make it so that it sticks out beyond the face of this wall. Let's just give it a shot. Remember, the name is Rectangular Mullion 1. I'll come over here to my properties, and I'm going to look up families, and I'll search for mullion. Here's my rectangular mullion. I'm going to double click on that, and here's the thickness of it. I don't remember seeing that when I clicked on edit before. Maybe it was there. I'll go back and check, but here we can change the thickness. I have a 5-inch wall, so the thickness right now is a little bit less than my wall. If I make that 6, it gets better. If I make that 7, now it's flush, and if I want to go even a little bit more, I could have it to where it sticks out beyond the edge. And that actually looks pretty good just like that, even though it doesn't match the trim down here. That's really not bad at all, is it? Let's look at it in plan view just to make sure that it doesn't look strange because I made it so thick. Oh, I've already got this open. No, it doesn't. I mean, it looks a little bit different than what we're used to, but I don't think it looks bad. Let's go see what it did to my windows in the front. Okay, these windows actually have a trim applied to them, and I'm going to hide that so you can see. I started off with windows that looked like that, and these are exactly what I just finished showing. I can edit their profile, and they started out as squares. But then afterwards, I thought it would look better if I make kind of a thicker element around this storefront so that it feels like it has trim like the rest of my house. So to do that, I'll just unhide this. That's just a simple extrusion. That's all I did, and I'll show you how to do it on the back here. Okay, it's a good idea to, once again, look at this straight on. And then I'm going to go over here to the Architecture tab, and we want to do a little modeling in place. So Component, hit the drop down, Model in Place. You could call this Windows under the Window category. You could also just say Generic, but I'll go with windows. Okay, and then I want to do an extrusion. Before I do that though, I'm going to set my work plane. So I got to tell it, where do you want to extrude from? And I'm going to say pick a plane, which is this wall. If you want to see this, just click on show and you can see that's the plane that I'm going to start drawing from. I'm going to turn that off now. I'm going to do a little extrusion. I should just be able to pick the boundary of my window with the pick lines tool here. Something overlaps. I wonder if I did this one twice. Yeah, I did that one twice. Okay, and then we'll either do that again with an offset, or you can just use the offset tool. And I'll tell it that I want like a 3-inch trim, and select does need to be copy does need to be selected. Okay, now you could do this one at a time, or I've found it's a lot easier if you just hit tab. It'll do the whole thing, and then I'll accept it. Keep in mind that there is a setting for how far it should extrude. I don't know why mine is set to 50 feet, but my window now extends out 50 feet. We want to change that, of course. And I will change that to like a 1/2 of an inch is all I need there. There, now I got the trim. Okay, mine fortunately came in with a material, but you would need to assign it a material here. And then when you're all done with that, you can finish the model, or if you have additional windows, pretend I had one right here, you can select this trim that we just did, edit the extrusion, and you can go add another one over here. You know, again, just pretend. You got to pretend I have a window right there. By the way, if you hit tab and nothing happens, it won't select all 4 sides. Just click anywhere, not on the pink line, then come back and then hit tab, and then it should do it. Okay, so these two are now connected as they're just one extrusion, even though they cover 2 windows. And then I'll finally finish the model, and you can see they're intertwined. And that's how it's done. You can do a lot of cool things with that curtain wall tool.